What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about this story of a 33-year-old man who lost his life after meeting up with two women and bringing them over to his flat, and they engaged in activity, and then he was drugged. And then that's when they brought in one of the accomplices to their crime to rob him, but apparently it was botched and he ended up being knifed to death. Now, his name was Saul Murray. He was a father of 6 children over in the UK. That's what has happened. And what is being called the honey trap plot, according to his article, these two women, I'm assuming the 36-year-old found his social media, saw that he was wearing a Rolex watch, or he had Rolex watches, and decided that that was going to be the guy that they were going to target for robbery. I mean, just look at this group. I knew heifers over here in the States had bonnets, but damn, I didn't know there was bonnet wearing over there too. Okay. Let me go down the row. Okay. The first one is Cleon Brown. The second one is Ikem Afia. And the third one, the woman here, is Supreet Dhillon. That's how you pronounce her name. And the fourth person is Tamedia. Is it Tamedia? Oh, now Supreet, so that's how you pronounce her name. She's 36 years old. And Tamedia, I believe is how I pronounce her name, she's 21. So we know who the ringleader of this is, and it's this 36-year-old heifer here who have now, her thirst and greed to try to get, this guy's Rolex watches has now cost them their freedom. There was actually a video of this crime being committed. This is the video here. Now, this is the video here. As you can see, that's them. The two guys. They hatched a plan to rob him, but they didn't plan on this not going the way that they wanted it to. And it went bad. All because of Rolex watches they thought that they could get. And the thing is, those Rolex watches were fake. Reportedly, the Rolex watches are fake, that they did all this to try to get. You can see that's them being led into the, I believe this is Saul, and these are the two ladies. Gentlemen, you got to be careful of the women that you're meeting online, man. These women are, listen, it's cold out there for a lot of these women. Winter has come for a lot of these heifers, and a lot of these heifers ain't prepared for it, but they are prepared to take from you to give to themselves. So you have to be extremely careful of the type of women that you come across. You have to vet women before you bring them to your home. That's one of the girls letting him in. I believe that's probably after he's been drugged. And now they're fleeing. I mean, this is, to me, over what? Watches that weren't even real? That's what this is all about. This is what it's all about. Watches that weren't even real. So let's get into this article. This, according to The Sun. A man lost his life in a sick honey trap plot hatched by two women who seduced and drugged him to steal his Rolex watches. Saul Murray, who's 33, was found in a pool of his own blood in the communal entrance to his flat in Luton, Bedfordshire, after the conspiracy to rob him took a tragic turn. As you can see, it's the bonnet wearing heifer there. That's them. So they can't say they were never there. I think the smartest thing that Saul did, he had a camera in his home. He had a camera. And I think that is what caught them. Because it probably would have been very difficult to catch them without this camera footage. Maybe they didn't know he had cameras in there. You know? Let's see. Saul was seduced and stripped by Supreet. Dhillon was 36. And Tamedio was 21. Who sedated him with a drug called GHB. They had met on social media and the two women traveled from London to Luton along with male accomplices. I've been through these dummies. The women met Saul outside his flat while the other pair drove to a drive-through McDonald's. Dhillon admitted sharing brandy with Saul and giving him GHB, while swabs taken after the gang were arrested revealed that the trio engaged in activity in some degree. I just want to know how was she able to get that in his drink? Did one female distract him while the other went and put in? That's why you got to watch your drinks, man. I would be the one making the drinks. I'm not going to let you make no drink for me because I don't trust you, especially if I just met you. These women can't be taken lightly at all, man. These women are vicious out here. However, when they failed to knock him out completely, they called in the two men and LlFE took the life of the helpless victim. The death was made even more senseless by the fact that the Rolexes turned out to be fake and that Saul had no expensive items in the flat as he had only just begun living there. CCTV played at the group's trial at Luton Crown Court showed the women who admitted targeting other men with similar schemes, leaving the flat in the early hours of Sunday, 27th of February. They were followed by Brown and LlFE, with the latter carrying a large knife. A post-mortem revealed that the dad of 6, Saul, bled to death due to a deep stab wound in his thigh, which pierced his femoral artery. The women's DNA was also found on the body, while Saul's blood was discovered in the car used to transport them to Luton. LlFE was identified from the CCTV by the 1350 Moncler coat that he was wearing both at the scene of the crime and when he was spotted at a London KFC shortly before. Detectives discovered that only 69 such coats have been sold in the UK. In a victim's personal statement, Saul's father, Colin, said he had watched his son die on CCTV. He added, "It is the last thing I think about before going to sleep and the first thing I think about when I wake up." LlFE, who was found guilty of the crime, while Dhillon, and Brown were convicted of manslaughter. All 4 defendants, all from London, were further convicted for conspiring to rob Saul, while LlFE was guilty of possessing a knife. LlFE was handed a life sentence with a minimum term of 25 years, while Brown received 11 years behind bars. Dhillon received 10 and for 7. I think should have got the same sentence as Dhillon, but I think they gave her more because of her age and because I believe she was the ringleader. Judge Michael Simon says Saul's life was brutally cut short. He added, "Nothing this court says or does can possibly repair the cavernous void in the hearts and lives of those to whom Saul Murray meant so much." The judge went on to say that Dhillon lived a predatory lifestyle and participating in something that seemed like an easy money game, but had the potential to go wrong. Detective Inspector Dale from the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire, and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit, speaking after the sentence, said that It was a planned attack facilitated by Dhillon. See, they saw Dhillon as the ringleader. She was the eldest of the group, so they considered her to be the ringleader. She added, it's obvious from the way the two women used a sedative substance on Mr. Murray and the fact that LlFE was armed with a knife that they were prepared to get what they wanted at any cost, which sadly was Mr. Murray's life. What happened was absolutely sickening. All four of these people should, I believe, have similar time, but I guess they went off of level of crime. They said, okay, we want to make sure that the person who perpetrated the crime, who took the life of Saul Murray, we want to make sure they get the most time. And then you have this other guy, Cleon, who got 11 years for just being, helping and facilitate the crime. And these two, of course, got the lesser sentences when they were the main ones. She was the conspirator. Supreet was the conspirator. She was the leader. She should have got just as much time as the other, as the guy that actually had the knife. She should have, because they know she was the ringleader. So she should have got just as much amount of time. And the crazy thing is, when they get out, they'll end up doing the same thing. They have no life. You're going to have more of a criminal record. This guy lost his life due to fake watches. That's how desperate these heifers are to get some money. And trust me, they were the ones watching his social media, and they alerted those guys to what he had, and they hatched this stupid plan that went wrong. Women will always use their body and their sexuality in order to corner men and to steal from them, manipulate them. That's what they do. This thing should have never happened. This man shouldn't have lost his life. And it's incredibly sad that this thing has happened. It is. He shouldn't have lost his life. But that's just the society that we are in. I just hope that more of these women who facilitate these crimes are held responsible. So let me say in the comment section, let me know your thoughts, like this video and share. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.